What are the best things to choose in the Super Daily event, and what will a year's worth of selecting give you? Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Spreadsheet in the link in the description. I'm not quite sure when this video will be released. I am frantically trying to find some time to work on an incursions guide and some other things as well. So that might already be out, or I'm working on it. Please bear with me. There's a lot of stuff I'm dealing with personally that I need to kind of like get done. But I wanted to go over something that I created, which was this right here. So this spreadsheet will be available in the link in the description. It is going to take on many forms. But the first form it's going to take on, because this video is separated into 3 parts. So I should have done it like that. 3 parts. Those 3 parts are going to be part 1. What do you get over the space of a year? Part 2, getting points, which might have to be expanded when it actually comes back. And progression picking. What things should you pick? Now, those that are Valiant, I'm sure you'll be picking whatever you like, and that's completely fine. But for those lower than Valiant, you might have to be very, I'd say, well, picky with what you pick up. Oh God, select is the word I should have used. I'm not picky, pick. So let's go over Valiant. We'll go over the progressions. As I said, this video does have structures to it. It will probably have a time-coded thing at the bottom, so click the tabs if you want to skip to different sectors and sections. Beginning with Valiant, 365 days will give you, based on selecting, or getting for free, sorry, the free side of things, that you just get parts of it, 10,950 units. 91 million gold, 365 level 5 health potions, and 365 level 2 revives. We all know this is correct because Kabam have confirmed it's coming back in its same form. It will be buffed in the new year, which we'll look at that when it comes back. There'll be 40 million solo shards, which some people like, some people don't. 5,475 ISO 6. There will be 273,757 star shards, which equates to 18 7-star free crystals for those that are Valiant. And 1,460, this is for everybody. So, doesn't matter your progression, everybody gets 1,460 free 4-hour crystals. And just to clarify, I did got asked some questions as to why I personally say that it's not particularly great. This is actually not as good as you might think. If I bring the calculator in, and what I said previously when this event came out was that if you take 5 a day is possible to get, and that was based on me waking up at 7 a.m, collecting another one at 11 a.m, getting another one at 3 p.m, 7 p.m, and 11 p.m. at night. So there's 5 right there. And to give you, again, perspective on the matter, it's 365 times 5 is 1,825. Now, people will say, well, it's only like a, what, I don't know, 300 something difference. Well, that's the difference of energy refills. That's the difference of some extra things you get within those 4-hour crystals. And I'm pulling a lot of energy refills. But in case I digress, move on. That's just highlighting that particular point. From a selection standpoint, for those that are Valiant, you get to select all these lovely things here. Over the course of a year, depending on what you choose, you will get differing amounts. If you are from the first selector going with, right, well, I'll get 182.5 tier 3 alpha only. Or I can separate that out and go, well, instead what I'll pick is, I'll pick half of that. So that's going to be, what, 90 tier 6 basic, or 45 tier 6 basic, 45 tier 3 alpha, and again, like, what's that, like half that, which is 100 and, no, it's not 100, it's like 81 there. We'll talk about that a bit in a minute, but that's down to you, isn't it? You pick, do I want to get 30 days of the year picking this way, 30 days another way, 100 to 200 days picking the other way. That is going to be down to a personal preference of choice with that first selector. Then we move down to the more spicier selector, which is the main focus of the part 3. On the part 3, 365 7-star signature stones, which they're not generic, by the way. It's just there. It's that there. It's going to be multicolored. So it's just lottery. 82,000 Titan Crystal Shards and 11 Tier 4 Alpha. Very spicy things. Down to a personal preference if you're signature stones or you're that. I think Command will give up more 7-star signature stones for those that are Valiant in the future. But we now got to move on to Paragon. Paragon gets the same amount of units, the same amount of the 4-hour crystals. A little bit lower in the type of meta and volume of the tier 5 ISO, which is 3650, the tier 5 variety. 136,000. That's 9 7-stars, just over 9 7-stars overall. So that's still good, isn't it? If you, for free, as a Paragon player, nice. When you're going over to the spicier things for Paragon, debatable the way you choose with this. I wouldn't go 6-star signature stones, especially if you aspire to be Valiant. 54k is nice, but you're still 6k away from forming a third, unless you get a third from somewhere else, and that just helps top up. Whether or not you want to go fully in for 54k, and whether or not you kind of want to separate them out, and I would go between Titan Crystal Shards and Tier 6 Class Catalyst as a personal preference. Volume-wise, there's a little bit of a volume breakdown of things at Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic. If you're new to Paragon, I don't think you're going around Tier 5 Basics or Tier 5 Class Catalyst. I just don't think you're doing it. Moving quickly on to Thronebreak and to Cavalier. You are seeing the same amount of units and 4-hour crystals, and you're seeing a little bit of a slight downgrade on the volume of tier 5. It's actually, yeah, I think I've put in the wrong image there, but it's the tier 6. No, sorry, it is going back to my previous one. Yeah, I did put in the wrong one. That is the tier 6. That's not the tier 5. The tier 5 is for those that are Thronebreak and Cavalier. Apologies, I just realised that. Then the volume of 6-star shards there depends on what you choose. Will you go the dual 6 stars? Will you go featured? Because if we go in 73,000, then you're dividing that by it's 700. It's 70. It's not 73. It's like, okay, we'll go 15,000 first. There we go. 48 for the 6 stars featured. And then, yes, it's 73, isn't it? 73. Don't do that, Richard. 73 times like 10,000 there. Not 100,000, 10,000. It's 730,000. So it is 73 full 6 stars. So choose whether or not you want featured or not from that one. From the spicier take-homes from this, you're presented with an interesting option of 109k. On that, and that's is that 6 off the top of my head? 109. We'll go with 100,000 because there's no point otherwise. 109,000 divided by 15,000 is 6.66. So yeah, it's just over 6 for that one there. You need, I think it's 120. Yeah, it's 120,000 in order to get that up to half. Like was it 7 for that one with it? Possibly. Anyway, moving on. There's some good stuff there. There's some alright stuff there. Again, if you're Thronebreaker, you're making a choice. Spicier stuff for Cavalier. Not going to go too much into Cavalier, but yeah, you get 73k 7 stars if you so choose it from there, which is nice. At least it gives you a guarantee, gives you a lock with your choice. And 73,000 divided by 15k, and it might be less if you're choosing your 7 stars for the very first time based on getting the option for it. It may be your easy in to grab those ones from the featured store, so that's good news regardless. So yeah, 4.86. So nice. Okay, it's good volume there. Okay, so that's part 1, just going over the higher volume. Oh, and there's also the volume of 6-star shards right there, 547k. So very nice. You'll get a high volume of shards to do as you wish with whatever you want. Oh, and sorry to say, yes, you will get the level 3 health potions, which is 730 in volume because it's 365 times 2. But there's also a nice amount of gold. There's 43 mil at the lower end, and going up to the top end when it comes to Valiant and Paragon, you're presented with 91 mil. Fantastic. Okay, let's move on to part 2 of the video. Part 2 is just a quick overview on the points. Now, we will be expanding upon this when this is actually released, just to kind of see if there's more of an efficient way. For an arena fight, it's 44 fights, 15 rounds of 3 for those that grind arena, 29 fights in AQ, Alliance Wars 18 fights, questing 30 fights in total, level up 95 levels on a 7-star, gets you enough, and win in Battlegrounds 3 times, as well as Incursions winning 29 fights. You really have to choose what is going to be your best. I mean, you might be an arena grinder, and that's your way to go. You may be an AQ person, you may go a different route, but you have 24 hours in order to get 660 points, which was the last time getting it. We'll have a look if there's a more efficient way. Unfortunately, it's winning in Battlegrounds. But for me, I'd find it easier to do a combination of arena, auto fighting with questing, and doing AQ and AW because you have to do them as standard. What will you do? Put it in the comments. And now we finish off with part 3. Part 3 is options. If you want to read along, go to the spreadsheet in the link in the description. Just support the video if that'd be brilliant as well. If you could do that, just hit the like button. That'd be very nice. Anyway, getting to the point of choice. You could either choose to split your days. 266 days choosing one spicy thing, like Titan Crystal Shards for 60k's like amount to it, or 99 days for 3.1 Tier 4 Alpha. You then look at the other alternative, 188 days for Tier 4 Alpha fragments gets you nearly to 6, which, as you know, that is 2 rank 3 7-star rank ups. 177 days, also in that same 1 year of purchase, is 40k of Titan Crystal Shards. It depends how much you want from this and what you're targeting as a Valiant player. And if I was Valiant, I'd be choosing Tier 6 class Catalyst because, well, that first initial thing is better. Very important as well for those that are looking to mitigate the loss of the, I think it was the daily card purchases that have recently been buffed in bunny ears. This kind of mitigates it. Anyway, Paragon players, 20k Titan Crystal Shards over 134 days, 231 days for Tier 6 class Catalyst. That will give you 23.1. This is, again, like, you can, and this is not all about going one direction. You could go and grab what you're grabbing from those selectors, which I've showcased, then you can say, right, well, I'm at a loss, Rich, for other things. Well, if I get a load of Titan Crystal Shards, where's my Tier 6 class Catalyst coming from? Well, that could be where you balance it out in-game, with the likes of Trader's Outpost, with the likes of your Alliance tab, Glory, Loyalty, and as well, the Battlegrounds Marketplace. So look at it from that particular point of view. It's not about going all one way because you do have other things to go. Well, I've gone one way here. Well, fine, we'll go and top up that with other stores as well. And that will see your loss balanced out, I hope. Then there's the generic. I would go as Paragon player, Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic, or look to that kind of balancing of the books with other stuff to then go and purchase in the stores some extra things as well. If you go really heavy, 267 days of Titan Crystal Shards, then it's 98 days for 9.8 Tier 6 class Catalyst. And then finally with Thronebreaker, I'm not doing Cavalier because it's just then there's so much to cover in one video, and I don't want to do loads of coverage because people then complain that it just goes on and on. You can check out the guides in the spreadsheet, but I'll try and put something in for Cavalier at a later date. Anyway, if you do, and I think for Thronebreaker, you've got to do 365 days with the 7-star shards for 109k, as you can get more Tier 6 Basic by stores. It might be a bit pricey though. The more you go down with the progression levels, the more pricey it is in things like here, the Battleground store, the Glory store. Like it's a little bit more on the expense side of things, but that could be, as we said, it could be your in to grab some stuff that, again, mitigates that loss by going, hey, I'm going all in on 7-star shards. So yes, always down to a personal preference of what you're going to choose. That's my personal advice on that, but it's up to you if you take it, and obviously pick what you feel is best. I want to do a rank up, then target rank up materials. If you want to improve your roster scope and width, get shards. Those are key things, key fundamentals that you need to figure out. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a lovely day, and goodbye.